Now with spring comes the magnolias, and I thought we could just have a walk around the magnolias here. So let's go through the gate. Through the gate and through the camellias, and come up into the main garden, where laid before you are several of the magnolias which I planted about 40 years ago. Just come up here and you can see Magnolia Merrill, this one here. They all have a lovely scent. Beautiful. I think you'll agree. We're panning around to see Magnolia Star Wars, and then this magnolia absolutely full of white flowers, which is Wadder's Memory. Now I'll show you the characteristic flowers of Wadder's Memory, even though this is not a characteristic shape. Wadder's Memory tends to be tall. This one has formed a rather rounded tree. Beautiful, I think. A lovely shape. Multi-stemmed. And Wadder's Memory has these rather droopy petals. Standing here under Wadder's Memory, there's a sort of a smell of wintergreen about it. And although they're very strange shapes, the individual flowers, as a whole, they are a fantastic show. Next door is a pink magnolia called Heaven Scent. Now I can't tell you if there is much of a scent to it, but that's what it's called. And against the blue sky, magnolias really do come into their own. Looking through Heaven Scent, I can see a white magnolia with magnificent big white flowers. And this is Magnolia David Clulow. I do think this is one of the best white magnolias, and very substantial blooms. Luckily we don't have to get a crick in the neck to see this one, because there are some more accessible flowers right on the ground. And here is one. Magnificent, isn't it? David Clulow. He had an optician's business, but was a very keen magnolia file. Come along towards the obelisk. Looking down here, I think, isn't it wonderful how in spring the leaves are so fresh and full of promise. Fantastic. And I think the birds are agreeing at the moment. Gosh. Tweet, tweet. Now this magnolia here is rather the worse for wear. Let's come round this side a minute. Right into the sun here. But this is Kierhe's Bell. It's been rather buffeted by the winds, but still a splendid flower. Let's continue down here towards Water's Memory and Heaven Sent, and past some of the lovely camellias, and turn around to see this 40-year-old Silangiana hybrid called Picture, which is absolutely covered in flower. Well, let's come on down past Camellia Leonard Messel. Because there's a little group here which I'd like to show you, which I planted in about 1986. Now here's a personal favourite of mine. A magnolia called Athene. I think her flowers are the most beautifully poised magnolia flowers. A perfect shape and a lovely scent. Now behind Milky Way you can see the pink of Magnolia Leonard Messel behind the Wollemi pine. The flowers are quite pale once they've opened up, but the overall effect is of pink. This is a loebneri magnolia hybrid, named after Leonard Messel of Nyman's Garden in Sussex. This was planted in 1986, and you can see it was a very wide-spreading tree. I've had to clean up the bottom limbs because it was coming out right over the garden. But a lovely thing. Now looking away from Leonard Messel, you see the jury hybrid Milky Way. It is really a magnificent sight, isn't it? Absolutely covered with its flowers, and luckily they're being held at a reasonable height. In fact, see them close up. You can just lose yourself in the tree. It's a wonderful feeling. Behind Milky Way and Athene, this central part of the wooded area became very, very dry during our severe drought 2 years ago, and they've taken a while to recover. They were all planted at the same time, if you can believe that. And here's Iolanthe and the very dark flowers of Apollo. Got a bit of a way to go yet to fill out, but they are sprouting away at the base. We'll come back out to that area and come back down here. And behind the Wollemi pine is the Magnolia Leonard Messel again. one is definitely liable to get a crick in the neck when you grow magnolias. Still, there we are. We have two here. One is called Pirouette, that's the white double. And behind it, which starts off a lot deeper pink, is Aurora. And she's coming to an end of her flowering, I think. But Pirouette has the most fantastic, strong scent. Now, backing away from Pirouette, you see the last remaining flowers of a very deep flowered magnolia called Darjeeling. Way up there. Very early flower, so it's only got a few flowers remaining. But what a colour. And behind Darjeeling is the white froth of Magnolia loebneri. Fantastic size after 40 years or so, with a red camellia in the distance. Not strictly magnolias, in fact not magnolias at all, is an area I love. And that is the fritillaries covering the ground here. I think they are wonderful. And they've seeded about happily here, all different sizes, some tall, some short, a few white. Snake's head fritillaries, so called because of the patterns on the flower. Nearby and a further aside, here's a lovely cyclamen repandum, it's called. Normally pink, but this is the white form. And lovely leaf markings. Well, with a glimpse of, right up there, the flowers of Shiraz magnolia, deep red. A very good wine red magnolia. We'll retrace our steps. And go back, just giving you a taste of the magnolias here at Gorrel. If you're enjoying my videos, why don't you subscribe to my YouTube channel, and you'll be kept up to date with any of the latest videos and so on. But in any case, I hope you join me next time we do our normal garden walk.